Hello guys, and welcome to another Candid Candy. Today I'm re-recording this video. I recorded this subject back on September 29th, before I went to San Francisco and Sacramento, before I went to California. And things changed while I was in California. So the subject is, from the title as you can tell, is not letting things hold you back. And for me, that is not letting me being fat hold me back from doing things in life. For other people, it is, something else that holds them back. Or the example that I'm going to use is these two little people that I know. One of them is 17. The other one is, I think he's over 50 now. He has a grandson and, his kids are married. Like, he's an established person. He owns his own business. He's a logger. Like, he has never let anything hold him back as long as I've known him. And I've known him most of my life. Now, the 17-year-old I've only known for, I think I met him, he was like 5 or 6. So, a good portion of his life. But this kid amazes me. He's 17, goes to high school, drives a car, has a job. I have never ever seen anything hold this kid back. And he's amazing. He advocates for Children's Hospital. Okay. Didn't expect that from that kind of car. Anyway, he advocates for Children's Hospital, and he does all sorts of charity events with the local radio stations. He co-hosts events on the radio stations. This kid is amazing. You guys, that's a Lexus. Okay? I'm just saying. That is not what that car's supposed to sound like. So the reason I bring up these two little people that I know is that they adapt to live in a world that's not necessarily made for them. The world does not favor little people. They have to make changes in their lives to be able to live in our big world. And I do the same thing being a fat woman. I, just change how I do things in order to get them done. Like putting on my socks. I don't know how you put your socks on, but I can't cross my legs way up on my lap. I don't know if that makes sense. So instead, I sit on my bed and I kind of turn sideways and I put my leg up on the bed, and that's how I put my socks and shoes on. I can't put shoes on standing on one foot because, number one, I have a terrible balance. And number two, it doesn't work for me. And so I put my shoes on sitting down. I don't think that's that big a deal, but the reason I bring it up is because I watched Amberlynn Reed, and I think Foodie Beauty did it too. They both had a series on their channel of struggles, my struggles being fat. And so it was their individual struggles, and I get that. And I think Amber had I think she did 10 struggles, so 30 different struggles. I can't remember what Foodie Beauty did. But anyway, the struggles that Amberlynn brought up, to me, were no big deal. I'm not saying that she's a bad person. I want you guys to know that. I'm not talking down about her. Those struggles are her struggles. For me, those aren't struggles, because I don't call them struggles. I change the way I do things to adapt so they're not an issue for me. I hope that makes sense, because like I said, I'm not it was a really interesting video series that she did of her 30 struggles, and I really did like watching it and getting her perspective on things. And so, to me though, when I was watching it, I was like, well, that's not that big a deal. That's not that big a deal. And I don't know if maybe she like exaggerated some of them for content. That's not my place to say. Again, those were her struggles. That's her individual struggles. To me, they didn't necessarily come across, or they aren't necessarily struggles for me. My personally, okay? So that was the gist of the first video. And then I went to California. And basically in the first video, I was like, don't make excuses, you know, do this. All the while I was like, huh, my anxiety and blah, blah, blah is keeping me from doing things. The things that I preach to you guys sometimes, I find it hard to put into practice sometimes in my own life. And traveling to California, I'm gonna come back and discuss this because it's a very passionate subject for me right now, and I need to get coffee and I don't want to be crying getting my coffee. So I'm gonna take a moment and I will come back and we will talk about that. Okay, I'm upset because Dutch Brothers was too full and Starbucks didn't have anybody in the drive-thru, so now I'm drinking Starbucks today. It's a bad day all around. Alright, so here's what I wanted to talk about. Going to California was a huge leap for me. On many levels, because I'm not a huge traveler, okay? Especially by myself. And while I knew that I was going to meet up with friends and that I would have Brittany to come back with, I drove there by myself. And since leaving Roger, I have done so many things that I never thought I would do. And traveling by myself is one of those things. And it makes me, the reason I'm upset is because it's not an upset, it's like, why for so long did I let my anxiety and fear and my inability to do things on my own hold me back when I could have been having so much fun this entire time? Now, I'm not saying that my life was bad or is so much better now, but I'm not letting things hold me back from doing the things that I want. I feel like I'm so much more open and able now. And it's incredible. As cheesy as it sounds, this trip to California was life-changing for me. Because above everything else, I proved to myself that I can do whatever I want. I have the ability to do and go and be whatever I want. And it's it's such a freeing experience. It's like shedding a skin. It's like taking a huge weighted vest off that was keeping you from moving. And at multiple times while we were in California, and especially the day we went to San Francisco, I just kept telling myself, or telling Brittany, I was like, Brittany, we're in San Francisco. Brittany, we're in California. Brittany, we're away from home. Like, and through most of the trip, I like didn't talk to my mom or even Roger or my sister. Like, I texted them a couple times. I talked to my sister a couple times. But normally, I talk to them all the time, like every single day. And I was out there living my life. So I didn't need to talk to them. And it was so good. Yo, that was a lot of almond milk they put in there. And so this goes back to not letting things hold you back. And for a long ass time, I let things hold me back. I let me being fat hold me back. I let my fear of being looked at or laughed at hold me back. And I'm not doing it anymore. I am not doing it anymore. All right, phone, do you, boo. And I want to share this with you guys, and this is the reason why I deleted the other videos, because I was rewatching it last night, because it was supposed to come out this morning. And I was rewatching it last night, and I could tell that I was not in a good headspace, and that I was kind of being, not preachy, but like negative. I was being negative. I was like, oh, just get out there and do stuff. And then I thought about it and I was like, bitch, you didn't do it. You didn't go out and do stuff. You let your anxiety hold you back. You let your fear hold you back. It's not happening anymore. And so I guess the whole point of this is to tell you guys that no matter what your physical ailments, no matter what your mental ailments, you're fully capable of being, doing, and having whatever you want. It's all you. And while we were in San Francisco, like I said, this was way out of my comfort zone, like 1,000 miles out of my comfort zone, literally. And we parked in this big parking lot, and I stood in line to pay for my parking, and I helped these other guys figure out why their parking thing wasn't working. And I talked to people that I wouldn't have talked to before. Like, I would have just like kept my head down and not talked to people. And I walked a lot, you know. And I told my friends, I was like, hey guys, I'm really sorry if you're gonna have to go slow for me, but I'm gonna have to, like, you know, I walked slow and I'm gonna have to sit down a little bit. And my friends were like, okay, cool. They didn't judge me. No one else judged me either. And it just, it made me feel amazing to get out there. And we walked a lot every single day. We were shopping or walking downtown, walking into Old Sacramento. Pier 39, you know, was amazing. We went to Old Sacramento twice, actually. And so, like, I didn't even pay attention to other people when I was in San Francisco, because I was taking it all in and I was soaking it up and living my best life. And the lesson that I want you guys to learn is that, like, stepping out of your comfort zone can be the best thing you've done ever. It can be a life-changing experience. It can change who you are. So go. Go and do and see and experience and soak it all in. Because the world is so much bigger than you. The world is this huge place, this huge ball, and you are but a tiny speck of dust on it. There's so much to see and so much to experience. Don't let anything hold you back from experiencing those things and living your best life. And I guess that's all I have to say. So I'm going to stop crying like a big baby and go to work because I'm only a little bit late. Thank you guys for watching and listening and hopefully soaking in some of this, because I hope that this comes across as breaking that barrier of allowing yourself to make excuses and allowing yourself to not do things because you're fat, you're anxious, you're small, you're tall, you're crippled, you know, whatever is holding you back, don't let it. Don't let those things be an excuse. Don't let them be a reason that you miss out on a really great experience or a really great person, because that too, and in dating, like, it can hold you back from meeting the person that you're meant to meet or making your new best friend. So don't let your fat hold you back. Don't let your inability or your disabilities hold you back. You know, just go. Go. Do it. See it. Be it. All right? I love you guys. I'm going to go do be some work. I will talk to you guys soon.